Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. And for today's cards, I wanted to do a little bit of experimenting. So I'm starting off with some Distress watercolor paper, and I have the smooth side facing up, and I used my anti-static powder tool on it. And then I am inking up the Simon Says Stamp Center Cut Heart background, and it is a red rubber background on cling. So I have that face up on my desk, and I just inked it up with Simon's clear embossing ink. And then I'm bringing the Distress watercolor paper to the cardstock, placing it face down on there, and then pressing it really well with my hands to get a good impression. And then I am coating this with Simon's white embossing powder. And just doing that over a coffee filter, tapping off the excess, and then I'm going to melt this all with my heat tool. So it takes a minute or two to melt it all since it's an entire background and it's on watercolor paper, which is thicker and just takes a little bit longer to fully heat up. And especially when I'm doing white on white, but with any embossing powder, if you notice any dull areas or any areas that are grainy, it means they're not embossed. I missed a spot right there on the heart. When I set it down, I could see everything else was glossy except for that one spot. So I quickly reheated that with my heat tool to melt it. And now everything is glossy and shiny, so I know it's all completely melted. So like I said, this was an experiment. So I have one piece that's embossed, the other piece is completely plain. I wanted to do some like ink smooshing, which has been around forever with Distress inks. But I remember Christina Warner had done a video, was it a couple months ago? Maybe even longer. It was a while ago anyway. And she'd used sandwich bags. Like we've done ink smooshing on a craft mat. We've done ink smooshing by smooshing the ink onto pieces of acetate. And then she did a video using sandwich bags, and it just, having more flexibility instead of a more rigid surface of the acetate gave a different look. So I didn't want to cut down sandwich bags, but I have these little like Ziploc Perfect Portions bags that are just a very thin plastic, and they're quite large. So I started by cutting them down into one bag. I cut into 4 pieces. And after doing this part, I realized these bags are kind of almost too big, or these pieces are almost too big for, you know, a little card front. So I ended up cutting them down into 8 pieces. So I get a ton of use out of them. And you can wipe them off and everything. But like I said, this is all just an experiment. I'm just trying to kind of get a feel of this. So I chose to do one piece plain, the other one embossed, because I was curious as to if there would be a different look. I did find, since I was doing the piece of the plain cardstock first, and then I would go on to do the one that was embossed, I had a feel for it even just by my second try, and I had more intention with where I was placing the ink, whereas this first one here, I'm just smushing this ink on and letting it do its thing. Whereas this piece, I can see the embossed image. I know now I kind of want to place the inks on a diagonal just because that's how it's starting to look, and I can kind of blend these colors together. So it's personal preference. It's kind of fun to play. I had ink everywhere, had it all over my hands, all over these pieces of plastic and my background and all that. And right now, everything is still wet. Like I'm not drying these colors between smushing the next one because I wanted them to blend into each other. I'm only using 3 colors of Distress ink here, Mustard Seed, Picked Raspberry, and Mermaid Lagoon, because these 3 will obviously blend into each other and it'll create an orange and a green and a purple. So it's amazing how much fun you could have with just 3 Distress inks. Like if you've never purchased Distress inks, these are the 3 I'd recommend to start with. Plus, I'd say get black, because black is great for so many things. Plus, black splatter is awesome. So these 3 though, I've done so many videos. Sometimes I'll use squeezed lemonade instead of mustard seed, but I honestly recommend. Mustard seed is a little bit darker. I think you get more color variation out of it. So these 3 are great, and they're definitely the favorites that I reach for the most. So I just kind of went in and was just smushing the colors around, having fun with it. And then I dried off, or like wiped off my work surface, and I'm going to dry both of these completely with my heat tool. You could leave it at that if that's what you want. They both look just fine. Especially obviously the rainbow one. I know that's kind of like, it was my favorite. They're both kind of favorites. So I had fun with this. So like I said, you could leave it here, but I wanted to add more layers. That's the beauty of Distress ink and just that great, fun, blended, splotchy look you can get. So I'm going to kind of repeat the process, but this time I'm going to move these colors around a bit and do kind of some splattery sort of effects. And I've already cut down these little pieces of plastic to be much, much smaller. So I have a little bit more control. They're a little bit easier to hold. and I can do a more kind of splattery effect. And with this one, I'm just using this one piece now. Now that I've kind of got a feel for it, I'm just using this one piece. So all the other pieces I'm going to set aside for a different project. So this one tiny piece from the bag, and I'm just wiping it off between colors. You could even decide not to do that and just keep adding color to it if you wanted. But I liked having, you know, first I did the picked raspberry, and then I added the mustard seed, and then I went in and added the Mermaid Lagoon. And just, again, just lightly dabbing the colors on so it would deepen some areas and then add fun color splatter to others. And then once I was done with those 3 colors again, dried everything a second time, and then this time I'm just spraying it with water using my distress sprayer. So I've got great big splatters of water. I let this sit for roughly 30 to 45 seconds, you know, long enough to sit and let that water kind of activate those colors again. And then pressing it with a paper towel. You could use a cloth, anything like that. And that's where you get that really fun water reactive look that is just so amazing with distress inks. So at this point, this is when I stopped. So I completely dried everything again with my heat tool. And this piece that I didn't heat emboss, this time I'm going to now heat emboss after creating the background. So what originally started out as my intention just to see if the color would have been more contained within like the wells of the heat embossing, it more just turned into more just playing with color and splatter and all that kind of fun stuff, and a different way to do it by using those little sandwich bag or portion bag pieces or whatever. Like I said, you can do this with a sandwich bag, a piece of acetate. It's kind of fun to experiment with just different ways to apply ink to your paper. So I used my anti-static powder tool very liberally on this background to make sure the powder didn't stick to it. And then I just did the exact same thing as the first piece. I inked up that stamp with the clear embossing ink, pressed that cardstock very well onto that, coated it with that white embossing powder, and now I'm going to melt it with my heat tool. So even though I used the exact same inks and basically the same technique, both backgrounds turned out completely different. This one being more just random and splotchy and letting the colors mix and just doing their thing, and then the more rainbow one was a lot more intentional, and I kind of kept the colors a bit more separate. So I set both of those aside, and then I have some fog gray cardstock from Simon and some black cardstock, and I am stamping sentiments from the Stained Glass Love stamp set. And I use my anti-sag powder tool on the gray, and then I stamp the sentiments in the clear ink and embossing with the same white embossing powder. The black, I didn't realize until I started editing this video, I forgot to use my anti-static powder tool. And I noticed after I had stamped these tiny little sentiments and then I poured over the embossing powder, I had embossing powder all over the place, and I was like, why did it do this? That I was a little bit frustrated, and I didn't realize I was off camera when I did it. I had to use a little paintbrush to remove a bunch of the stray embossing powder. And now I realize it was because I didn't use my anti-static powder tool. So it is definitely worth having. It comes in really handy when you struggle with getting embossing powder everywhere and it's clinging to everything or it's sticking to areas it's not supposed to. That's what the anti-static powder tool helps prevent, is to keep that embossing powder sticking to just the stamped image. So both of these I melted again with my heat tool. And then the large love words, I die cut with their coordinating dies that you can get for the Stained Glass Love set. And my card bases are also fog gray cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. So they will be top folding A2 size cards. And then I decided, because the white on this gray is so light, didn't stand out as much as I wanted. I actually just smushed the corners of those same distress inks onto that same piece of little portion bag plastic, and then I'm just picking up those colors with a water brush. Now this is just standard cardstock, so it's not meant for watercoloring, but I'm using a very small amount of water, very small amount of color. I'm not doing any blending or anything, so it's fine to just quickly color in simple areas like this. And I use the 3 colors as is, and then I started mixing them to create the secondary colors, so this will be all done in rainbow order. So I've got my pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then purple. And then I went back in with that picked raspberry and just quickly filled in those tiny hearts. And then I backed those with some foam tape. And I'm going to pop those onto my watercolor backgrounds here. And those watercolor backgrounds I ended up die cutting with the second largest die of Simon's basic rectangle dies. Again, did that off camera. So did that. And then the sentiments on the black cardstock I trimmed down so there's tiny little narrow strips, and I'm just adhering those directly onto the backgrounds with Simon's Craft Tacky Glue. So really liking this so far. I've used it several times now for different things, usually to adhere little embellishments and whatnot, but even adhering like cardstock and that, it's been great. So I did that, again, set aside. I want to do the insides of these cards, so I'm using my anti-static powder tool again, and I'm stamping another one of the large sentiments from that stained glass love set with the clear embossing ink. So on both of these, I'm going to stamp the word adore. And then I'm going to heat emboss both of these with that same Simon white detail embossing powder. So I'm going to stamp those onto the insides of the card, pour over the embossing powder over my little coffee filter, and then melt all of this with my heat tool. So let my heat tool heat up for a minute ahead of time just to help things melt a little bit faster and minimize the warping on the cardstock. And then after I did that, I'm going to stamp the rest of the sentiments with Simon's Intense Black ink just to finish these off. So it'll say, I love and adore you so much. So stamping those above and below the sentiment. I did that to both cards. And then I backed the watercolor pieces with Simon's Big Mama foam tape roll very liberally to hold these completely flat. They weren't too warped, but a little bit still. So adhered those to my card bases. And then as a final little bit of embellishment, I decided to add some Pretty Pink Posh sparkling clear sequins. So just pour those right out onto my desk and then kind of arrange them how I wanted onto my card fronts. And then to adhere them, I'm going to use that same Craft Tacky Glue. It dries clear and it dries matte. And yeah, it's very, very strong. I am really happy with this and affordable. It's like $1.99 for this bottle. So I'm just adding little dabs of that and then just using my little jewel picker to pick up the sequin, put down a little dab of adhesive, press that into place, and then I just got to let that dry and they're good to go. So really simple, really fun. These were just fun. I love how, just 3 inks can look like all these different colors with just those 3 inks. It's just, that's what I love so much about distress inks. You can do this with other dye inks, but distress inks are just so much more unique and they're just fun. So as always, I will have a link below the video to my blog post with links to all of the supplies used. So check that out below if you are interested. Thank you all so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping and commenting on my videos. And I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye.